if you're running for president, Truth Social ain't enough, bro. You're not. There's gonna be plenty of people that go over because you are Trump, because you are the nominee. But without Twitter, without Facebook, ever since Obama, there is no way to win an election without the taking over social media. All right, welcome back to the party, everybody. I am your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. All right, let's party. So Kyle Kulinski was recently on the Joe Rogan Experience, and they had quite an interesting conversation. We had already talked about a little bit between Trump and DeSantis, but they go into a little bit more depth with Trump and his social media stuff. So let's check it out.
And so DeSantis was the heir apparent, but now things are changing.
Do you think that Trump comes back to all those social media platforms? Like, what is his? I read something about his deal with Truth Social that it might be up soon.
The reason that Trump hasn't been back on Twitter since Elon came in and he was unbanned is because he has a deal with Truth Social. Obviously, that's his platform. So if he's going over to Twitter and not even using Truth Social, why would anybody else? So I don't know what the timing is, but that's why he hasn't come back.
Oh, if that's true, that's interesting. I did read that he's planning on coming back to both Facebook and Twitter. I did read that. But to your point, my understanding was he had a deal with Truth. So the whole value of the company is tied to Trump being on it.
Exactly.
And so he pulls out of that. He's pissing off a lot of people who invested a lot of money in that company, which, you know.
And the thing is, if you're running for president, Truth Social ain't enough, bro. You're not. There's gonna be plenty of people that go over because you are Trump, because you are the nominee. But without Twitter, without Facebook, ever since Obama, there is no way to win an election without the taking over social media.
He's done shit like that in the past, so I don't see why he wouldn't do it now. But look, he kind of needs it. He needs to be back on Twitter. He needs to be back on Facebook.
Right, because
I'll give Kyle a good point there. You know, as a good businessman, that doesn't always mean being a good person, and he definitely has done some shady stuff like that in the past, where a lot of people have lost a lot of money, so that Donald Trump could be in a better position.
Because if he's on Twitter, that's where people are going to go.
DeSantis. So, because I know you were also a fan of Bernie.
Yes.
And they're like polar opposites in terms of the rest of their policies.
I'm a fan of him.
This is an interesting. I'm glad that he brought this up because a lot of people who were Bernie fans back in the day, in the leading up to the 2016 election, eventually became Trump supporters. And while I don't consider myself a Trump supporter, I definitely would prefer that he would be in office than Biden or Kamala or Hillary or any of those people. So I'm interested to hear what Rogan has to say about this dichotomy.
For different reasons.
Right, yeah.
You know?
But I know you said that you thought he would make a good president. And there's a bunch of things about him that I think would probably change your opinion on it. Like, for example, he thinks weed should stay illegal because it smells bad.
Is that really his opinion, that it smells bad?
He said it
Does
smells.
he not know?
Oh, DeSantis, really? Really? I struggle to grapple with that as the most liberally loving politician that we've seen in the public sphere recently. I would have to look into that. It wouldn't surprise me, but that also is not a policy position. That sounds like a personal opinion.
Know about edibles?
Quote, putrid, and he wants it to stay
edibles.
banned because of that.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Is that really his rationalization?
Jamie, if you want, you could pull that up.
Yeah, that's what it says.
Jamie,
But
pull
it's
it
legal
up.
in Florida, or medically.
So they got medical legalized in Florida.
Says marijuana should remain criminalized because of its putrid odor. Polling compiled by the University of North Florida showed that most Floridians want the adult use of marijuana to be legal in the Sunshine State. That's certainly not the case. In fact, under state law, the possession of up to 20 grams of cannabis is punished by a $1,000 fine and up to a year in prison. Possession of greater amounts is a felony. So what has he said? What I don't like about it is if you go to some of these places that have done it, the stench when you're out there, I mean, it smells so putrid. I want people to be able to breathe freely. Well, that's silly.
I mean, I definitely agree that that is silly. But is that a policy position or is that a personal opinion?
Yeah.
But that's also like I want to know the context. I mean, that's a quote.
From where exactly?
The smell of marijuana. DeSantis demurs on marijuana legalization, but can't stand the dank stank. Well, okay, you don't have to like the smell. You know, I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean that's why he wants it illegal. He just.
And then we also have to think about, what is Trump's position on it as well. I think that he is, he would be amenable to federal legalization, but I don't think he likes it. You know, he doesn't drink or do anything like that. So again, even if that is the reality that DeSantis wants it illegal because of the smell, that might be a wash.
Doesn't like the smell. A lot of people don't like the smell.
But it's not legal there recreationally, right?
No, not yet.
No?
No.
It's
not legal here either.
Would he sign the bill is the question, you know? And it seems to me like
That's
he
a
would.
good question.
Because he's a social conservative by and large, you know, like that's his perspective. Another one is they had a vote in Florida, a direct vote on raising the minimum wage during the 2020 election. And so Trump won the state, but 60% of Florida voters voted for a minimum wage increase. They wanted to make it 15. And leading into that, DeSantis said, don't do that. I'm against doing that.
Did he have a rationalization?
I mean, I didn't see if he did, but just the fact he's against it was a strike against him in my mind.
Just because he was against it, I didn't know the reason. This is why you have to be careful, because even those people that you trust, even people who do this for a living, read the news all day, and it's their job to understand this stuff better than the rest of us, they don't always. Often they don't. And that's why you need multiple sourcing. That's why you need to understand people's biases. It sounds like he heard that and assumed that it was a policy position, because nothing that we read from Jamie being pulled up talked about the actual policy position. He was just talking about him opining on the fact that he didn't like the smell. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Is that something that we would have to worry about in terms of him banning it nationwide? I don't think that's an issue. Have you heard about this before? What do you guys think? Are you in favor of even legalizing marijuana in the first place? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for partying with me, guys. I've been your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Until next time, guys, I am out of here. Peace.